In the heart of summer, the sun poured golden rays across the sprawling backyard, where a gathering was underway to celebrate Ethan's graduation. Friends and family filled the space, laughter mingling with the scent of barbecue wafting from the grill. As Ethan mingled with his friends, he couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation about the future. Among the guests was Daniel, his father's best friend. A charming man in his early 40s, Daniel had a charisma that drew people in. With tousled hair and a smile that could light up the darkest room, he had always been a figure of admiration for Ethan. Though they had shared countless family gatherings, Ethan had never thought much about Daniel beyond the typical camaraderie, until today. "Hey, Ethan. You're looking sharp." Daniel approached with a beer in hand, his blue eyes sparkling under the sun. "Thanks, Daniel. Just trying to look my best for the big day," Ethan replied, trying to play it cool. "Can I steal you for a moment?" "I've got something to show you," Daniel said, his voice low and inviting. Curiosity piqued, Ethan followed Daniel into the house, where the music faded into a background hum. Daniel led him to the study, a cozy room lined with bookshelves and adorned with family photos. He closed the door behind them, and suddenly the atmosphere shifted. "Sit down, Ethan," Daniel gestured to a plush chair. "I wanted to talk to you about something important." Ethan's heart raced as he took a seat, his mind racing with possibilities. "What's up?" Daniel took a deep breath, his expression serious yet warm. "I've watched you grow into a remarkable young man, and I want to share something with you that's been on my mind for a while now." "What is it?" Ethan leaned forward, intrigued. "I know this may come as a surprise, but I've developed feelings for you. Feelings that go beyond friendship." Ethan's breath hitched in his throat. He had never considered that Daniel could feel this way about him. I didn't know," he stammered, caught off guard. "I understand this is unexpected, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. But I felt it was important to be honest." Ethan's mind swirled with thoughts and emotions. He had always found Daniel attractive, his confident demeanor and kindness drawing him in. But the implications of what Daniel was saying were vast and complicated. "I don't know what to say," Ethan admitted, his heart pounding in his chest. "You don't have to say anything right now. I just wanted to be truthful with you. Take your time to think about it." Daniel's tone was gentle, yet there was an underlying tension in the air. As they sat in silence, Ethan's thoughts raced. The summer sun spilled through the window, casting a warm glow around them. He realized that he had always felt a connection with Daniel, something deeper than friendship. The idea of exploring this uncharted territory intrigued him, even if it scared him. "Can I ask you something?" Ethan finally broke the silence, meeting Daniel's gaze. "Of course. Have you ever acted on these feelings? I mean, have you ever been with someone like this before?" Daniel hesitated, a flicker of vulnerability crossing his features. "I've had relationships, but nothing like this. This is different." "You're different." Ethan felt a rush of emotions, a mix of excitement, fear, and curiosity. "I don't know what to do with this information," he confessed. "Just be honest with yourself," Daniel replied, leaning back in his chair. "We don't have to rush into anything. Let's just enjoy the moment." The tension between them hung heavy in the air, but there was a sense of understanding that bound them. They sat in silence, each lost in their thoughts, the world outside continuing without them. Eventually, Daniel broke the silence. "How about we go outside? The party's still going, and I don't want to be the reason you miss your own celebration." Ethan nodded, grateful for the shift in conversation. They left the study, rejoining the festivities, but a new dynamic lingered between them. Daniel's presence felt different now, charged with unspoken possibilities. As the night wore on, Ethan found himself stealing glances at Daniel, watching him laugh and interact with others. The chemistry between them was undeniable, and Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted irrevocably. Later, as the party began to wind down and guests started to leave, Daniel lingered near the grill, tossing away the last of the embers. Ethan watched him from a distance, his heart racing with anticipation. "Hey, Ethan," Daniel called, noticing him standing apart. "Want to help me clean up?" "Sure." Ethan replied, moving closer, his heart pounding as he approached. They worked side by side, the atmosphere light but charged. As they finished up, Daniel turned to Ethan, his expression more serious. "Can we talk again? Just us?" Ethan nodded, feeling a flutter of nerves mixed with excitement. "Yeah, I'd like that." Once the last of the dishes were washed and put away, Daniel led Ethan back to the study. The air was thick with anticipation, and Ethan felt a thrill of nervous energy coursing through him. "Ethan, I want you to know that whatever happens next, I care about you deeply," Daniel began, his voice low and sincere. "I care about you too," Ethan admitted, his heart racing. "But this is all so new. I've never thought about a relationship like this before." Daniel took a step closer, closing the distance between them. "You don't have to have all the answers right now. We can take our time." Ethan looked up into Daniel's eyes, feeling the warmth radiate between them. "What if we just started with being honest about our feelings?" "I'd like that," Daniel replied, a soft smile gracing his lips. With a rush of courage, Ethan reached out, gently grasping Daniel's hand. The touch ignited something deep within him, and he felt a spark of connection that he had never experienced before. Daniel squeezed his hand, his eyes searching Ethan's for confirmation. And in that moment, Ethan leaned in, capturing Daniel's lips with his own. The kiss was tentative at first, both of them exploring this new terrain together. But as the kiss deepened, Ethan felt himself melt against Daniel, the warmth of their bodies igniting a fire of desire. Daniel's hands found their way to Ethan's waist, pulling him closer as their kiss grew more passionate. It was a dance of discovery, each movement igniting an urgency they had both suppressed for too long. Ethan felt a thrill race down his spine as he kissed Daniel, savoring the taste of him. He had never kissed a man before, but it felt entirely right, as if this was where he was always meant to be. Their kisses grew more intense, their bodies pressing against each other, the heat between them igniting a longing that had been brewing since they first met. Ethan felt alive, as if the world outside had faded away, leaving only the two of them in this intimate moment. As they broke apart, breathless and flushed, Daniel looked deep into Ethan's eyes. "Wow," he whispered, a grin spreading across his face. "I didn't expect that." "Neither did I," Ethan admitted, still feeling the buzz of adrenaline. "Are you okay?" Daniel asked, concern flickering across his features. "More than okay," Ethan replied, his voice steady. "This feels right. I want to explore this, whatever it is between us." "Me too," Daniel said, his smile softening. "But let's take it slow. I don't want to rush anything." "Agreed," Ethan nodded, feeling a surge of affection for the man before him. They stood together, hands intertwined, savoring the connection they had just forged. Outside, the night was alive with the sounds of crickets chirping, the world moving on without a care, while inside, they had created a space that was uniquely theirs. In the following weeks, their relationship blossomed. They spent time together outside of family gatherings, exploring the nuances of their connection. Each stolen moment felt electric, filled with promise and desire. Whether it was late-night conversations that lasted until dawn or casual outings that turned into something more, they navigated the complexities of their feelings together. Daniel was patient and kind, always making sure Ethan felt comfortable as they explored their new relationship. Each kiss was like a spark, igniting something deep within Ethan that he hadn't realized was there. As their bond deepened, they faced challenges, of course. The secrecy of their relationship weighed heavily on Ethan's shoulders, knowing that if their feelings were discovered, it could change everything. But Daniel was always there to reassure him, reminding him that they were in this together. One evening, while watching a movie at Daniel's apartment, Ethan felt a surge of affection. They were curled up on the couch, Daniel's arm wrapped protectively around him. As the credits rolled, Ethan turned to face Daniel, a seriousness in his gaze. "Do you ever think about what this means for us?" Ethan asked softly. Daniel studied him for a moment, his expression thoughtful. "All the time. But I believe we can figure it out together." "You mean a lot to me, Ethan." Ethan smiled, feeling a warmth spread through him. "You mean a lot to me too. I never expected this, but I can't help but feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm with you." Daniel's eyes lit up at Ethan's words, a genuine smile breaking across his face. "I feel the same way. But we have to be careful. It's complicated." "I know," Ethan replied, his heart racing. "But I want this. I want you." Daniel's expression softened, and he leaned in, capturing Ethan's lips in a tender kiss. It was soft at first, just the brushing of their mouths, but it quickly deepened as their shared emotions surged. Ethan melted into the kiss, feeling a mix of longing and affection, his hands tangling in Daniel's hair as he pulled him closer. They pulled apart breathlessly, both a little dazed by the intensity of the moment. Daniel's thumb brushed over Ethan's cheek, a tender gesture that sent butterflies fluttering in his stomach. "You have no idea how happy you make me," Daniel whispered, his voice low and sincere. "I think I'm starting to understand," Ethan replied, his heart swelling with emotion. Days turned into weeks, and their relationship grew more profound with each passing moment. They navigated stolen kisses and intimate touches, their passion simmering just beneath the surface. Late-night drives became a ritual, with music playing softly in the background as they shared their dreams and fears. One weekend, Daniel suggested a trip to the lake, a place where they could escape the prying eyes of their families. Ethan was thrilled at the idea, eager to spend uninterrupted time together. The sun was bright on the day of their trip, the warm breeze dancing over the water's surface as they set up a small picnic by the shore. Laughter echoed in the air as they splashed each other playfully, the cool water refreshing against the heat of the sun. After some time, they lay on the grass, catching their breath. Daniel turned to Ethan, a glimmer of mischief in his eyes. "You know, I could get used to this," he said, his voice low and teasing. "Me too," Ethan replied, his heart racing at the intimacy of the moment. Daniel's gaze was intense as he leaned closer. "Can I kiss you again?" Ethan nodded, unable to form words. Daniel closed the distance, their lips meeting in a passionate kiss. The world around them faded away as they lost themselves in each other, the sun warming their skin and the sounds of nature creating a beautiful backdrop for their connection. As they pulled apart, Daniel chuckled softly, brushing his fingers through Ethan's hair. "We really should do this more often." Ethan smiled, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. "Definitely. This is perfect." Their days together were filled with sweet moments and tender exchanges. They shared stories from their pasts, laughing over silly memories and supporting each other through vulnerabilities. Daniel opened up about his life, his struggles, and the reason he had always been cautious in love. "I never thought I'd find someone like you," Daniel admitted one evening as they sat on the couch together, their legs entwined. "Someone who understands me, who challenges me in all the right ways." Ethan leaned against Daniel, feeling the warmth radiating from his body. "You've always been a role model for me. I admired you growing up. I never imagined that I'd end up falling for you." Daniel's eyes softened, a hint of vulnerability crossing his features. "I never planned for this either, but I'm glad it happened." As their relationship deepened, they faced the reality of their connection. The risks were ever present. What if someone found out? How would their families react? But with each passing day, the bond they shared felt stronger, and the thought of turning back seemed impossible. One evening, as they shared a quiet moment on the couch, Ethan felt a surge of courage. "I think it's time we tell someone," he said, his heart racing. Daniel looked surprised, his brow furrowing in thought. "Are you sure? It's a big step." "I know," Ethan replied, determination in his voice. But I don't want to hide anymore. We deserve to be happy and authentic. I'm ready. Daniel studied him, weighing the decision. Okay. I'm with you. We'll do it together. With newfound resolve, they decided to tell Ethan's older sister, Claire, who had always been supportive and understanding. The next day, they invited her over for dinner, both feeling a mix of anxiety and anticipation. As they sat around the dinner table, laughter filling the air, Ethan took a deep breath. Claire, there's something we need to tell you, he began, his heart racing. Daniel reached for Ethan's hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. Claire looked at them with curiosity, her smile fading as she sensed the seriousness of the moment. What is it? Ethan took a moment, glancing at Daniel for support. Daniel and I are together. We're in a relationship. The room fell silent, the weight of the revelation hanging in the air. Ethan's heart raced as he waited for Claire's response, unsure of how she would react. Finally, Claire broke the silence, a wide smile spreading across her face. I'm so happy for you both. I had a feeling there was something special between you two. Relief washed over Ethan and Daniel as they exchanged glances, grateful for her acceptance. Really? Ethan asked, his voice filled with disbelief. Of course. You guys are great together. I'm so glad you're happy, Claire said, her enthusiasm palpable. They spent the rest of the evening sharing stories, laughter, and heartfelt conversations, the air feeling lighter now that the secret was out. Daniel felt a weight lifted off his shoulders, knowing they could finally be themselves without fear. As the weeks turned into months, Ethan and Daniel continued to grow closer, their love blossoming in ways they had never imagined. They faced challenges together, navigating the complexities of their relationship while cherishing the moments they shared. One evening, as they walked hand in hand under a starlit sky, Ethan turned to Daniel, his heart full of affection. You know, I never expected to find love in this way, but I can't imagine my life without you. Daniel smiled, pulling Ethan closer. You've changed my life for the better. I'm grateful every day for you. With a soft sigh, Ethan leaned in, their lips meeting in a kiss that spoke volumes about their feelings. The world around them faded, and in that moment, all that mattered was the love they had found in each other. As they pulled apart, Daniel looked deep into Ethan's eyes, a hint of seriousness returning. I want to be with you for the long haul. You're my everything. Ethan felt a rush of warmth spread through him, the sincerity in Daniel's words hitting him like a wave. I want that too. I'm all in. They stood together, surrounded by the beauty of the night, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. With love in their hearts and a commitment to each other, they stepped into a future filled with endless possibilities. In the end, it was their love that transformed their lives, creating a bond that would last a lifetime, reminding them that love knows no boundaries, and that sometimes, the most beautiful relationships are born in the most unexpected ways.